And today, all eyes on Ohio.
There's one state that both parties will be focused on. It's Ohio. Public attitudes there often mirror the mood of the entire country in a crucial Senate race and several tight House races.
We turn now to one of the hottest Senate races in the country.
As Ohio goes, so goes the nation.
Mr. Brown, 1 minute.
Mike just said this election's not about George Bush, it's not about Bob Taft, it's not about Thomas Noe. He's right about that. Then he says it's about Mike DeWine and Sherrod Brown. He's wrong about that. What this election is about middle-class Ohioans.
Who are you going to trust to fight for the middle class?
They work hard, they love their country, they play by the rules. But the cars, steel, and appliances they used to make are now being made overseas, where workers are paid $3 or $4 a day. My opponent supported the trade agreements that cost us these jobs. He says it's just business. I say it's wrong. I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message. In the Senate, I'll judge U.S. trade agreements by this standard. Are they fair to America? Do they put Americans first? They said that NAFTA would be good for America, but nearly 50,000 Ohio jobs have gone to Mexico. CAFTA, the trade agreement with Central America, will cost us even more. Our trade policy with China has cost our country over 1 million jobs, huge trade deficits, and it's risking the transfer of sensitive military technology. I voted against all of these deals. My opponent voted for them. I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message. It's time to put Americans first.
They work hard and love their country, and all they ask for in return are leaders who are on their side. Does Mike DeWine measure up? He voted for trade deals that sent jobs overseas. He voted for tax breaks for corporations that outsource. DeWine voted against overtime pay protection, against a higher minimum wage 9 times, and for a China trade policy that cost our country countless jobs.
I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message. It's time to put Americans first.
You know, the fundamental difference in this campaign is I've devoted my whole career to fighting for the middle class tax cuts, working to help college kids go to school, voted against these job-killing trade agreements that even conservative David Brooks in the New York Times today wrote about as something that's really important in Ohio.
He grew up in the factory town of Mansfield, the son of a family doctor who treated everyone, whether they could pay or not. After college, he came home, started a family, and Sherrod Brown has never forgotten where he came from. In Congress, he's taken on drug companies and HMOs, working for healthcare families can afford.
For too long, the HMOs and drug companies have written our healthcare laws. Now we're all paying the price. I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message. It's time to put people first. As parents, we all want our children to have every opportunity, and that means education. But college tuition has more than doubled, and it's hitting hardest at the middle class. That's why I voted to expand student loans, supported more Pell Grant scholarships, and worked to pass tuition tax credits. Mike DeWine voted against each of these, making it harder for middle-class families to afford college. I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message. It's time to put the middle class first.
When you come to Ohio, you see that the commercials that Mike DeWine, the two-term incumbent, is running are all about that the opponent, Sherrod Brown, according to DeWine, is going to raise your taxes, and also that Brown is soft on terrorism.
Brown's getting hammered for his votes on the war on terror in a tough DeWine attack ad.
Instead of avoiding the issue of the war on terror, Democrats are taking it on.
Mike DeWine is slinging mud, taking votes out of context. Sherrod Brown voted for body armor, armored Humvees, the death penalty for terrorists, and to protect our troops from roadside bombs. What kind of man would use our troops to smear his opponent? DeWine, a man who doctored photos of 9/11 for political gain, missed critical meetings on the Intelligence Committee, misled us on weapons of mass destruction, then tried to cover up intelligence failures.
I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message.
Democrats view the security debate and Brown's Ohio success so far as a potential national model.
When he hits us by playing to people's fears, every time he does that, we're going to hit back harder, every single time.
I was proud when my son went to Iraq. Then I found out the Army didn't have enough body armor. I wrote every one I could think of. My Senator, Mike DeWine, sent me back a form letter that didn't even mention body armor. Sherrod Brown wasn't my congressman, but he met with me and other military families, then went to bat for our troops and helped them get the equipment they needed. For me, it's easy. I want a senator who cares.
I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message.
you get that big tax break Mike DeWine's been bragging about? There may be a reason why. The Columbus Dispatch said DeWine's tax cuts overwhelmingly favored the wealthy. Sherrod Brown voted for middle-class tax cuts instead. While Brown was fighting for the middle class, DeWine was giving billions in tax breaks to his big contributors. Oil companies, companies who outsource jobs, even corporations who move their plants overseas.
I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message. It's time to put the middle class first.
Mike DeWine's campaign is in trouble because he supported trade deals that sent jobs overseas. So now he's trying to smear Sherrod Brown. But newspapers say DeWine's attacks are not true. So dishonest, stations are pulling them off the air. And state officials confirm Brown paid his taxes. After all these years, can't DeWine offer more than smears and distortions? Maybe the Dayton Daily News said it best. They called him mud-loving Mike DeWine.
I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message. Before I ask for your vote, I owe it to you to tell you where I stand. I'm for an increase in the minimum wage and against trade agreements that cost Ohio jobs. I support stem cell research, tighter borders, and a balanced budget amendment.
Sherrod Brown stood up to the president of his own party to protect American jobs, fighting against the Mexico and China trade deals that sent countless jobs overseas.
I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message. It's time to put the middle class first.
But this is very significant. Sherrod Brown, the challenger,
has defeated Republican incumbent Senator Mike DeWine.
Brown is the first Democrat since John Glenn to serve as an Ohio senator.
A couple of keys to this. Mike DeWine was an enormously popular senator. He was reelected 6 years ago with more than 60% of the vote. Apart from the scandals that hit Ohio, apart from Iraq, Sherrod Brown went into small towns and rural parts of Ohio, the places where George W. Bush rolled up huge majorities in 2004. His message was a basic economic populist message.
Today in Ohio, in the middle of America, the middle class won. As Ohio goes in 2006, so goes the nation in 2008.